evening, ladies and DeGents. Welcome to the Week 11 recap video and the Maryland live sports betting reaction. I am your co-host, Big Bucks Beta. I'm with Monty Mansman. We went through the Monday live test 2 to 10.
We live, baby.
What
We live.
what an experience, and got some interesting bets to go over just from that experience. But overall, Week 11. But I will just start with the Week 11. How are your overall feelings? What do you think went well? What do you think could be better?
Well, I lost my best bet, which was the Eagles. That hurt me a little, but all in all, another positive week for me. It's been 4 in a row where I've really turned on the Jets and have been betting better. And like I was telling you off air, Monday night, if I played the live bets that I wanted to play instead of being scared, I would have won a lot of money Monday because I liked Niners 8.5. That was a joke. And then, yeah, I liked Connor under rushing yards. I liked a bunch of different things that would have hit. So,
Yeah, there was a couple I played. I ended up doing. So overall, Week 11. Talk about bouncing back. We'll get into the records in a little bit, but let's just say when 3 out of your 4 best picks end up hitting by 4 o'clock, or sorry, by 7 o'clock after the 4 o'clock games, when 3 of your 4 best bets hit, like you have to be feeling good. It was great betting this week, not losing money.
yeah.
I'm not saying I profited much because my dog of the week, Pittsburgh, let me down. But what I will say is that it was really nice to see the green. It was nice to know I had good, sharp plays. Fading the public in certain instances paid off dividends. And finally, for the first time all year, my over-unders record green down the board.
There you go.
That was great. But yeah. Otherwise, so speaking of Monday, when all the sports books went live from 2 to 10, uh, I'll put it like this: I had one. So FanDuel offered me a deposit match in a free bet. With it going live, I knew I was betting, so I threw it in, got the deposit. What do, Jason, as a great Colorado fan? I see the Avs.
Oh, again? You do this all the time. Oh, my God.
Right? It gets worse. I don't do the puck line, which was the Avs plus half a point. No, I take them the money line, which paid off because they won 3-2 in the shootout. Where did I go wrong, Jason? I pick one of their promo bets. Avs to win, Georgiev, their goalie that they got from New York, to get 25 saves. It was a difference of plus odds of I want to say it was 112 versus 138.
Oh, no.
Georgiev, all season, has had no defensive help. He has had to make more than 30 stops every single game thus far.
No.
Dallas, coming off 3 of 4 wins at home. Do you know how many saves he got, including the shootout?
Oh, no. 24?
22. Including 17 in the first 2 periods.
Oh, my God. That is disgusting. That is disgusting.
Dude, the only solace was that it was a free bet. And this is why I tell the people when you get a free bet, you have to be careful and not go off the walls. Because you literally take my situation, 2 simple legs to get a small profit, and I still miss.
Well, tell them about the free bet you didn't make.
Oh, God, this one's even more disgusting. But this also would have been pure DGen. USA versus Wales live. I'm trying to figure out BetMGM because my account for some reason gets frozen. So I'm talking to them. It all of a sudden lets me in. I'm checking the live odds. It is within the 78th minute. USA is up 1-0. I checked the live odds. I like this game personally at a draw at plus 200. Whereas the USA, I think, was, God, I'd have to double check real quick. Because I thought I just had those odds up. Yeah, USA was plus 135. Wales was plus 230. Draw was plus 200. I didn't think USA was winning. Wales was kind of a reach. So I was like, draw would be the bet if I had to make it. But anyways, we're into the 78th minute. It's like 1-0 USA. They finally get into BetMGM. I have four $50 free bets. I see the live odds draw getting up to, I really want to say it was like close to plus 1,000. If not, maybe more, maybe a little less. I literally hit it. I go to make the free bet, and I stop myself, and I say, no, don't be a DeGent. You're at the dog park with your dog. You're not even watching this game. You don't even know what's going on. That's a free bet out the window, guaranteed. There's only like 12, 15 minutes left. I don't do it.
That hurts.
4 minutes later,
Penalty.
Wales ties it.
Yeah, oh my God.
Penalty.
That's brutal.
Dude, that was the insanity of just 8 hours, and now we have to deal with this tomorrow.
Bro, it's forever. Like, moving forward, it is forever. And they're throwing, if you're in the state of Maryland, they are throwing free money at us like crazy. $100 on Monday. Thank you to those.
Oh my God. Yes, thank you, FanDuel. Literally, if there's one passing yard in the Monday night game, here's a free $100. DraftKings, the minute a point is scored, here's $100. Oh, by the way, that was if you got into the 8-hour window yesterday. Yeah. If you actually did do that, there's a second free money opportunity. The minute the Ravens score a point on Sunday, you will get
barring a shutout. Barring the
shutout, which is
who are they playing again?
Jacksonville.
Yeah, I'm not worried. I'm not worried.
Me neither. Justin Tucker could kick a 60-yarder, worst case scenario, and I'd have no sweat.
I'm not worried. I'm in for another 50. Bro, I made $130 on the Niners game.
Not bad.
Because I had the $30 from my bets like last week that all hit. And my DGen story was literally, I was going to play like 4 player props at various times live, and I would have hit all 4.
So let's go through them, because 2 of them I actually was on with you. 2 of them I was against, and we'll learn what those were. But we both like San Francisco when we did our recap video week 11. Now, my thing was weird enough. I couldn't make heads or tails of it at the time. It was at 8.5 when we handicapped it. I said, look, I know the week before I made the argument, how are you going to lay 6.5 with Jimmy G? Now I got to lay 8.5. And what we said was the difference was the competition of teams. The Chargers are like legitimately, even on the road, maybe even better. And then we said, well, look, this is Arizona. Now, what I can't believe that we missed was that this was the Mexico game up in the high altitude. And that was something that I literally.
I should have brought that. I should have brought that up because I did know that, and I didn't really think that it made much of a. I didn't think it made all that much of a difference, but yeah, that's something we should have brought up. We should have raised.
Yeah, and that was something. But so my thing was when it went to 10, my Barney brain it went Barney mode and was just like, oh my God, minus 10. Maybe I think Arizona could cover this if they show up, because then Colt McCoy was named the starter. So I was like, okay, which Arizona team is this going to be? No, I literally should have known the minute if the game started. I was like, oh, this is the Niners.
Well, especially to Colt McCoy. Like, I love my boy Colt McCoy, but like, okay, now you're playing a real team. Like, I'm not on the Niners Super Bowl bandwagon. But let's be honest, like the Niners defense is, like a legitimate football team. The Rams are donkey trash right now. So,
The Rams are still hungover from the Super Bowl. They've lost half the team by this point. Their defense is still a no-show. You're 100% right. And we even said this. The Rams were a huge step up. Or not the Rams. The Niners were a huge
yeah.
step up. And it literally kind of showed. You let Jimmy G get 4 touchdowns.
Yeah.
Like, in what world does that even, on a regular day, on what world does that happen?
Yeah.
God, maybe San Francisco should move to Mexico. Maybe they perform better.
I should have done San Francisco 6.5. But again, the only reason, like the big reason I didn't put more on that game was because I did have like $30 in bets on that game already. So I didn't want to just go, like, imagine if all my bets were wrong, I end up losing like $100 on that fucking game, which, you know.
Oh, yeah. No, you're 100% right. Here were the props. So I ended up taking $1.75 because I needed to get the DGen urge out. So I did a 6-leg same game parlay. I did a 7. No, it was 6-leggers. I did 3. I got 3 of 3.
Okay.
And you're going to tell which ones were good, which ones were possible, and then which ones were just what the fuck were you thinking. We'll start with the ones that actually hit. I had Christian McCaffrey over 37.5 reception yards.
Yeah.
I thought that number for this abysmal Arizona Cardinals team was just ridiculously low.
I saw at one point he had 16 yards. It was at 33.5. And it was like...
So it went down?
It had gone down. And he had 16 yards already. And I'm like, he's one screenplay away. I should play it. And I didn't. Because I'm an idiot. And sure enough, literally, I'm looking at it and I'm like, before the drive starts, because what you'll see when you start looking at it is like at the end of every drive, the prop numbers will come up and they've changed because they're live numbers. And this one was at 33.5 and it's in commercial. And I'm like, boy, Christian McCaffrey's one screen away from getting this. I really should play it. Sure enough, they throw a fucking screen pass and he gets it right after that. I'm like, wow, I'm an idiot.
Yep, so that prop hit. My next one that I actually was a little bit more concerned about than this is like my second most concerning one I did. George Kittle, 50 yards. This was a game I thought, like, not necessarily he would go yard on plays, but I thought, like, look, 3 to 4 decent throws, the number could add up. I want to say the number was at, like, 53.5.
Yeah.
Something low, like, and I was like, you know what, Kittle for 50. It's slightly less odds, but I figured if I'm parlaying this with other shit, I'll take the 50.
Yep.
Not try and VQ with this overall.
Another
like
one.
I did with McCaffrey.
Another one, Steve. I looked at the Kittle one. I swear to God, you might not believe me, but I'm God, pinky swear, honest engine. I look at it. Kittle had not had, I think he had maybe a couple catches. The number had gone under 40. And I'm like, wow, that seems a little bit low for Kittle. Now, I wasn't as big on that as McCaffrey, but I looked at it and thought about it and was like, I don't know. He might not be in the game plan. Sure enough, you know what the next drive was? Fucking 39-yard touchdown.
Yeah.
I swear to God, this was me all night. It's so crazy.
Yeah, here's one that didn't go well because obviously I had San Francisco money line thrown in. This one hurt a bit because again, not that many yards away. James Conner, 50 yards rushing.
See, I liked his under for a while, but I didn't play it quick enough, and it got under 50, and was like, I don't know, I don't like it that close, but yeah.
Yeah, at the time I made this, it was 4:45 Eastern time. So by the time I made this bet, I want to say it was kind of the same thing. Connor's over-under yards was like, God, was it 51.5? It was something closer. And I just said, you know what? Why am I playing 1.5? The odds, I'm parlaying it to, like... So kind of the idea with Kittle where it was like, let me just get a solid number and just, can I hit that? Or can I break even and just, like, get lucky? Unfortunately, he only got 42 rushing yards, which was a bit of a headache. And I would have felt way better if that had happened. I played the under 43.5, which was a donkey move. Originally, I kind of was going back and forth with it. When I heard Colt McCoy was starting, my thinking was Jimmy G, stereotypical game manager. could win this one without throwing a touchdown. I did not see.
Well, the
touchdown Jimmy.
turnover was bad. That interception and then the quick touchdown kind of hurt that. So
Yeah,
that was really
underscored
the
it.
big difference. I think.
Although the sad thing was when we did the handicapping, I picked the over. So I don't know what the hell I was thinking there. That should have been another hit that I could have had. Like if I had just lost on Connor, but no. Donkey, that was probably the donkey move. But in comparison to this last leg, which I'll tell you what I was thinking. I'm not going to say it was good. I'm just going to tell you what I was thinking. It was Elijah Mitchell anytime touchdown.
I don't hate that, though. I don't hate that.
The odds were great. The way I thought about it was it's a split back committee. Pretty much 50%. I was thinking, which, again, it kind of goes against the normal ways with Christian McCaffrey, but my thinking was if they get a red zone opportunity and McCaffrey gets stuffed on second, they'll switch it to Mitchell and hammer it down their throat.
There's a lot of fantasy. There's been a lot of fantasy guys who are concerned about, like, Eli Mitchell getting rushing share.
Yeah, it's a big thing I heard, but my thinking was like he could be a red zone guy. Maybe he'll break free. Arizona was not good, so that was a play. It was $1, like, and it was like 675 to 1 odds. Like it was ridiculous. Where $1 would have won me like 100 something, and I said fuck it, let it ride, and it did not go well. Which again, the lesson for all the people out there that do listen. Same game parlays are really, really difficult to hit, so you should not be throwing a lot of money on these because the odds of getting all of these in one game, let alone across multiple games, is just the odds are so much.
Well, especially, let me put it this way to you. There was a time live, and maybe this was donkey for not doing this, but I thought it might happen. I thought it might have been a game like this. There was a time you could have gotten Colt McCoy. You know what the over-under pass yards were?
200.
No, 299 at one point live. 299. No. I swear to God. In the first quarter, when he had like 120 passing yards, there was live odds. 299. DeAndre Hopkins at one point over/under passing receiving yards 133. Like. What does this tell you? I keep talking.
Were they not watching the game? Like
I keep telling people, live odds. A lot of it's algorithmic, so you could really like. The problem was this was in the first half when the Cardinals were doing well, and then by the second half the Cardinals just died. Their offense couldn't do shit.
Yeah, I mean, considering we're talking about this game for the most part, anyways. I mean, I guess I'll get into the weird fact that I like sweeped that whole line, but at the same time, like, was this game the narrative that Jimmy G officially should stay and he should be the guy, or is this the narrative of Arizona and how they've essentially, like, literally, this was the game that to me they've given up. Like, forget our bet we had, forget my over under 8.5 bet I have actual money on. This team is toast. They are done. They literally have given up. I don't know another game that I've seen. Like, for fuck's sake, like, as angry as the Broncos have made me, and don't worry, we will get to that, I just can't imagine. I've never seen a team lay down and die the way the Cardinals did in that second half.
Yeah.
Just total no-show.
Yeah, this team has quit. This team is done. And yeah, I mean, you're lucky I don't think the Cardinals play in November. Otherwise, I'd be winning a case of beer by November. But next week, Cardinals are back at home next week. I think they play the Chargers.
Against the Chargers.
Yeah, that's
it. It's done.
You know, good luck with that. You haven't won at home all year. So, good luck for that.
No, that's not true. Colt McCoy did.
Well, Kyler will be...
Psych. No, he didn't.
Kyler will be back to try and save Cliff Kingsbury's job, but we know that's not going to work out.
I mean, will he, or will he be playing Warzone?
I think he didn't really have a hamstring injury. He was just playing Warzone.
I wouldn't doubt it. It's so. I mean, come on. We're talking about the NFL. We're talking about professional athletes. This guy did get a major contract. It's sad to think that this joke is actually a possibility.
Bro, they put a study clause in his contract. Like,
Uh,
that
yeah,
tells you they were concerned that he was not studying.
At the very least, that's what that tells you.
I know we've been on this game for a while, but just one point. Remember the Jamarcus Russell shit where they gave him like a blank fucking tape and told him it was like plays for the other team, a game plan? And this motherfucker literally comes back the next day. Oh yeah, man, I watched those game plans. He literally did.
It was cover 2 in blitz plays, and it was a blank tape.
I mean, yes. So this is
that donut eating slob.
Jabba the Hutt fat slob. Oh, Stephen.
Yeah. All right. Let's get to the other primetime game. I don't want to say we're going to work in reverse order, but we'll just do the primetime games. We'll go to Kansas City and LA. That was, I don't want to say stereotypical because I don't think that's the word, but that was. You wonder why Kansas City paid Patrick Mahomes $1 billion. That was the game that explained why.
Yeah.
You know, not every quarterback can do that. Not every quarterback can pull off what Patty Mahomes has done this season.
Bro,
after losing, after arguably losing the number 1 wide receiver, no other quarterback, I think, does that.
Bro, doesn't it seem like indicative of every Kansas City LA game where it's always a close game and just Mahomes and the Chiefs are a little bit better? God, they're so good.
Yeah.
It hurts.
Well, it didn't help, too, for the Chargers. Mike Williams went out again after re-aggravating his injury.
Yeah.
I mean, how many fantasy owners out there bench Josh Palmer and just left 22 points? And that's a fantasy rant, not a betting rant. But if you think about it, like the Chargers, it seems like they have an offense built for it. You would think that after the offseason they had the defense too. But you just have to the minute injuries come into play, the minute you realize these people are older, they're just still one step behind the Chiefs. Yeah. And I don't know what it's going to take for them to catch up. And literally, like I said in the handicap, there was no good reason to pick the Chargers money line. They were up that entire game up until the 4th.
Yep.
And then
this is looking like another year where the Bills season ends in Kansas City. It's just too much.
God, I would hate that. Would make me sick. God, is this going to be another 4 falls of Buffalo, but it's just to Kansas City?
Bro, we're like there. I mean, we're going to play them in Kansas City again because they're so good, and we can't beat them in Kansas City in the playoffs. So
no,
they're good.
The Bills, God, the Chiefs. It's like even when they're down, you can never count the Chiefs out. That game reminded you of that. That no matter how long you give Mahomes literally any time, it's too long. It's too much.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I will say the line was at 5.5. I think it even went down to 4.5 at one point. And what was the handicap I had? Take the over on the points. Chiefs are going to win, but the only bet on the Chargers is the points because it's too high.
Yeah.
For these two teams who do constantly play close, like the Chargers should have been to play, and for the most part they were. And if you had bet the Chargers spread, you were not sweating at any point.
Yeah.
All right, last primetime game, which I don't even know how much we've really gone over this as far as the pod goes, but Tennessee, it was Thursday night. Tennessee went to Green Bay. I went back to the well, picked Green Bay.
Thank God I didn't put money on Green Bay. Thank God I didn't put money on this fucking team.
God, it was like I literally had given – I should find a garbage bag. I really should because I literally gave you – all the shit in the world the past couple weeks. Why would you go back to the well for Green Bay? They win one game against Dallas, and I'm sitting here like, oh, fuck. They're at home. Tennessee. Tannehill's not that good. What? Is this where they start coming back? And kind of like your rant with Tampa Bay, where you were like, Tom Brady, he's back. And I'm like, I'd be careful. I should have done this here. But no, my thinking was like, fuck, is Green Bay back?
Yeah,
They're just about to go.
Yeah,
on this
they're back.
tear.
They're back after fucking
They're
the Dallas game.
they're back on. They're back on auto fade. That's what
They're back.
They're back on auto fade.
How the fuck does your defense let Tannehill get like 280 yards? I mean, they made this guy look like a fucking MVP candidate. This defense is shit. They are shit. That team. They are just shit. Not Aaron Rodgers, not their receiving core, their entire team. That defense, trash. Garbage.
Yeah, I don't want to hear another word from Jair Alexander.
Oh my God! Yeah. Oh,
I really don't.
Oh yeah, you won that battle against Diggs. Yeah. How'd you look fucking Thursday night?
How about your battle against Treylon Burks?
Scorched.
How about that?
Burnt toast.
Trash. God, Green Bay trash team. Division parlay with them and the Bucks gone. Just no hope. But I will say the Tennessee bet with them and Kansas City is looking. God, every week, man, it looks better. I swear.
Tennessee's just a fucking good team, man. They just find a way, don't
They're good. That's the difference between a well-ran organization and a team that actually plays like a team, not like other teams where they have star players. And that's like every time I see like Derrick Henry, he's clearly the stud of the team. There's no debate. But if you watch how they play, it doesn't seem like it. It doesn't seem like all they do is hand the ball. They make Ryan Tannehill actually perform. It's so weird watching them, and like I can never get a great read, but God, Tennessee just like they know how to play.
Tennessee, I should have put a massive futures bet on Tennessee because they got so underrated because Tannehill had a bad game in the playoffs to like get them out. They were never as bad as people were making them out to be. And then they lost to the Giants week 1, which was beautiful. So nobody thought they were any good. And they've been one of those teams that you could just make bank off of. Now, I should have done it this week, but the last week against Denver made money on them. Like, Tennessee is just money. Like, for real.
Yeah, they're... God, how many in a row ATS are they now? Like, it's a heavy...
Yeah, I mean...
7,
Since
8,
that Bills
maybe.
loss, they've been a totally different team.
God, it's been wild.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of the opposite of wild, and actually probably will make a lot of people go wild in Maryland. How did the Ravens not cover 13 against this Panthers team?
I don't know what this Ravens team.
What the hell? How did Lamar Jackson at home? Again, by the way, he's been terrible at home ATS. Another ATS loss at home. 10-3. I don't even really know what to say.
Sure you want to play that?
Than,
Sure you want to do that DraftKings on the Ravens to score? I mean, they might get set up.
Look, if they get 1 point, I don't care. That's all that needs. God, who are they even playing next week? Like, they're playing Jacksonville. So I mean, come on, they can get a.
Bro, did you see what they did against Carolina? They didn't look very good.
I didn't see them do anything against Carolina. The fact they got a touchdown, it surprised the shit out of me. I was like, wait a minute, something happened?
I don't know, man.
Baker Mayfield. By the way, Baker Mayfield got benched yet again. He will not be playing next week. It will be the return of Big Dick Sam Darnold.
What is the fuck? I gotta look at this now. What are the odds for fucking Carolina?
I will tell you here in 2 seconds. They're still plus 2.5. They're plus 110.
Who the heck?
At home against Denver.
At
home against Denver.
Bro, as a Broncos fan, if you lose to Sam Darnold this week,
we already lost to him once. If you remember the Robbie Anderson meltdown.
Oh my god. Denver's on the road too.
Yep.
Now
the one thing, Denver has always had Carolina's number.
Oh my. Bro, you can't lose this. You can't lose this week.
You said that last
Bro,
week.
you can't lose.
You said that the week before that. Like,
Oh, come on. It's Sam Darnold.
God, is he going to be seeing ghosts, or is Pastor Tam just going to get fucking juked again? I mean,
Bro, did you see that video with Devontae Adams? He's not there. He's not there. Yeah. That's when.
yeah, well, when you're Devontae Adams, you can say that. I mean, I don't know. I mean, Jason, you know what happened the last time I got mad about my Broncos.
Shenanigans ensued. Let's just be nice and say shit happened.
Yeah, shit happened. Things were thrown.
Shit happened.
We'll leave it at that.
Shit happened.
Shit happened. And you know what? But you know what? Like, on the advice of my fiance, I need to stop getting mad over fucking sports. That's not going to happen, though. Fucking hell. Why is Nathaniel Hackett still a head coach? Can you please tell me, for the love of God?
Can we? Let's jump right to that game because that was, oh my God.
No, we really need to talk. Nathaniel Hackett, he's given up play calling duties. He's had to have a separate guy hired to help him count fucking time. The guy clearly cannot game manage. It literally took him a fifth goal line fumble from Melvin Gordon to waive him. Something they should have done 3 fumbles ago.
Yeah,
Why is this guy? I want no. Literally, what is he doing? What does he do for the Denver
Jeff
Broncos?
Saturday might be a better coach than fucking Hackett.
I would say, yeah, he is. I really would. This Broncos team is just reminiscent of all of our failures in the last 3 years combined. Just everything going wrong. Literally going into last year having the best defense. I heard this stat, and I heard this today, and this is what pissed me off. You remember that? First, we'll start with this. You remember that stat where if the Broncos scored at least 18?
Yeah.
We now would be 9-1. Or 8-1, 9-1, something stupid like. We would now be 9-1 if by regulation we were up 18 or so. Average points per game. Russell Wilson's is so low. If we had kept Drew Lock, Teddy Bridgewater, Case Keenum,
oh my God.
Or, I shit you not, Trevor Siemian.
No.
They all, in their years they played as a starter, had higher PPG than Russell Wilson.
Oh my God.
Which means there's a real possibility, with as bad as they were, we would be a winning organization.
Holy.
That...
Bro, you guys are bad.
You wonder why I get so mad. Like, oh, by the way, again, Denver blows another 10-0 lead in the first half, takes a game to overtime or a last-minute drive in the fourth, and finds yet another fucking way to blow.
I swear to God, the Raiders' offense is the only one that does well against Denver. Bro, I put Nick to sleep last week because Devontae Adams and Josh Jacobs combined for like 60 again.
Yeah, it's just, for some reason, the Raiders wake up for the Broncos games, and the Denver Broncos just forget how to play.
Still have not beaten the Vegas Raiders ever.
Well, it's just disgusting. I mean, Melvin Gordon, you fumble again on the goal line. There goes 7. Brandon McManus had tipped or blocked?
Yeah, blocked
3 points.
Yeah.
That's a killer, because we could have been up. Literally, we wouldn't be in the tie. We would have been up to 3. They would have had to score the touchdown to win the game. Now, whether they would have or not, we can argue back and forth. But it's just like, that's the kind of shit that keeps fucking happening. And it's just, literally, the frustration watching my team. It only can build so much until eventually, I throw your ottoman across the room and, I just don't. My fiance's right in the sense that I should probably stop getting mad about Broncos games, but you don't sit there for 4 hours as a fan.
Well, I mean, I think there's a healthy way. There's a difference between getting mad and throwing a pillow and then
screaming
practically
versus
breaking your fucking computer and putting a hole in the wall. Like there's degrees. Maybe you want to dial it back a little, man. Like, love you.
Yeah, no, it's definitely, especially too for God. If they lose to Carolina, that may be my breaking point. That Russell Wilson's jersey may go back in the trash. I mean,
Bro, you'll be fucking walking.
because you're. I mean, it's Raiders week too. Like that's the other thing. It was Raiders week. It's a big rivalry. Like, say what you will, but like, come on, we should be better than this, and we're not. If we lose to Carolina, then it's like, okay, you know what? We're trash. We're the worst team, and that's where I'm going to put this team in the trash. That like, forget getting mad. I need to stop getting so worked up.
You guys can't lose
you
to
know?
fucking Sam Darnold. I mean, that just doesn't seem.
We will find a way. We will find a way.
Oh Jesus, God!
All
What's
right.
the next game?
So
we did all the prime times and that game.
We did the Baltimore game, which was the first 1 o'clock slate. Now we get to go to your team, Buffalo. They went to Detroit because of the snow.
They won.
Had a bit of a shaky first set, but they won. They covered.
They won. Well, it depends on when you got them.
7.5.
Yeah, but it was 8.5 for a while. So again, like we said before, important when you bet these teams.
8.5 would have covered. Or no, it would have pushed.
No, it was 8. It was 8. 31-23.
Oh yeah. So. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good point. Well, I did say this was going to be a class relief game, but it was a real shaky first half. I know it was a bit scary at first, but I mean, as a Bills fan, I mean, what did this game tell you?
We're not that good. Concerned about this defense. I mean, our secondary is really... Bro, Jacoby Brissett had 3 passing touchdowns. Now, I will say, the benefit, one thing we did well, we stopped the run. That was good. But...
Something you haven't done in a while.
Yeah. I mean, I think Nick Chubb had 19 yards. Like, he had a very small amount of yards.
There's no way it was 19.
Oh, I thought it was. I thought I saw that. Let's see.
Holy shit, you're right. It was 19.
Yeah. So you look at that defensive line, especially the interior. Ed Oliver, welcome back. Tim Settle, good game.
His presence was missed.
Daquan Jones, good game. But yeah, our secondary is like really. Now, Kyer Elam's supposed to come back. Tre'Davious White, I have no idea what the hell this guy's doing. And oh, by the way, we played Detroit, and I'm gonna give you an early Thanksgiving nugget. Whatever Amon-Ra St. Brown's receiving yards total is, go over. We have not stopped. Amari Cooper torched us. We got torched by fucking JJ the week before. We cannot stop number 1 wide receiver.
Jalen Waddle, Tyreek Hill.
We cannot stop number 1 wide receivers to save our life.
Garrett Wilson.
Garrett Wilson torched us. You're exactly... Literally, number 1 wide receiver against this team, it's like automatic yardage. Automatic.
I'm going to write that nugget down, actually.
Yeah.
And it's funny because... it's going to be on short rest. And the weird thing, too, I will say, is Buffalo, having the game moved to Detroit, was probably the smartest thing the NFL did, but also, like, such a big benefit to Buffalo that they weren't going to originally have, and now they have it.
Yeah.
I think it could get real scary real quick, but you're 100% right. The Bills secondary is...
Oh, my God.
Tough.
Oh, my God. Amon-Ra St. Brown, over under 74.5 yards. What?
Ooh.
What? Oh, baby.
Ooh.
That might be. May have to jump on that. That might be.
Yeah.
I may be jumping on that shit tomorrow.
$50 free bet from MGM.
Bro, that's...
That could be free money.
Barring
That really
injury,
could be
like, this secondary cannot stop anything. And they have no pass rush. Yeah. So, the offense, I'll tell you what. Welcome back, Devin Singletary. The run game, played well because Josh was not very good. Now I'm expecting good Josh Allen Thanksgiving, definitely,
Yeah.
but yeah.
No, I'll throw this out there too, and this was just a thought. Buffalo, they had the snowstorm. They were pretty much essentially snowed in. They didn't really get to practice all that much. They literally didn't get out until the last possible second. So I could understand them being real rusty, but I just don't see that happening here against this Detroit
Well,
game
this
coming
is
up.
like a statement. I feel like the, and I guess we're getting into the Thanksgiving Day handicap. I didn't mean to do that, but it kind of fits because this Cleveland game was sort of the tough spot, find a way to win. You know what I mean? Your home
And they
game
did
got
it.
moved. It wasn't pretty. It wasn't beautiful, but your run game stepped up. Your run defense stepped up. You found a way to win. This is where the Bills could make a statement that they're back. Thanksgiving Day, national TV, beat up on a shit Lions team. But
Who've gone 3 in a row now.
yeah, the Lions are, bro. They held Saquon too. That was crazy.
Yeah, that was nuts. Well, speaking of held, I can't believe the Colts held the Eagles as long as they
That
did.
hurt. That hurt.
That is, yeah. Let's get into that. Indy, they were 6.5-point home dogs. Eagles coming off that Commanders loss. Now, this just screams to me. Again, maybe this is one of two narratives. Number one, are the Eagles finally exposed? Are their weaknesses now being spotted? And now they're just maybe going to be riding the struggle bus for a little bit. Or is this a situation where there's just no information on Jeff Saturday, and you don't know his coaching style, you don't know what he runs. He's so brand new, it's just hard to plan against him, and then this is just the kind of spot where you land in that. Kind of the same way that the Raiders did when they went to Indy. I mean, or when they hosted Indy. Like, it's hard to plan around a coach you know nothing about. Is this that kind of spot with the Eagles and they just got away with it, or are the Eagles just exposed? I mean, I don't understand. I don't understand how you don't score more than 10 for the majority of that game.
Ooh.
I could understand giving up 16 to the Colts. I could get away with that. Just where has Jalen Hurts been? I haven't seen him since the first half of that Commanders game.
I've never been that big of a Jalen Hurts fan. I don't mean to sound blasphemy, but I think he's been carried by a good team. I was never big on him. I like the team more than him. And they haven't
Dallas Goedert on IR now.
They haven't played well. A.J. Brown was hurt. They've been fumbling a lot, turnovers. Dangerous spot for them Sunday night, too. Dangerous spot for them.
Yeah, that's going to be... I haven't done the handicapping for that game yet. I will say, though, like, for Indy, like, I think at some point, kind of like with the Eagles, they've gone this long. Like, do you remember the Steelers season? What was it, last year or 2 years ago when they went 11-0 and then literally one and done in the playoffs, and it was just like, what's going on? And it's like, well, look, they were eventually going to get figured out. Do you think the Eagles are on the same trajectory here, where they're just going to be an up and down team? Are they going to be on the down, or is this just too crazy?
Well, I'd be concerned because it's 3 games the Eagles haven't played well. They didn't play well in Houston. All that
on
well.
Thursday night.
They didn't.
They had extra rest Monday night.
They didn't play well Monday night, and now they didn't play well on Sunday.
Yeah.
And as for the Colts, I'll tell you what, with the Colts, Jeff Saturday may have been the clown hire of the year, but they're playing better. No ifs, ands, or buts.
They're at least playing motivated. I mean, it's say what you will, but Jeff Saturday, he's a leader of men, and well, he's led them to 2 ATS victories.
Bro, I see there's an Indianapolis -2.5 line out, like right now. At home against Pittsburgh.
Oh, that is.
Oh boy.
Juicy. That's juicy.
Keep an eye on that.
Oh, and it's Monday night.
Keep an eye on that, folks.
Monday night. Oh, they're -140, -2.5.
I keep an eye on that, folks.
Yeah, over-under's at 39, too. That could be... I mean, these over-unders tend to bump up on Monday, and I really like the under here, so I may wait and jump on that Monday.
Yeah.
Since we'll have betting now, that'll be something I can actually do very easily.
Yeah.
All right, we'll jump to the next game. Another game I was completely I was right, I guess, by default. New England, they hosted the Jets.
Oh God,
This was
that
my
was
best
lucky.
bet. This was my best bet.
We got
and
lucky.
I literally got the luckiest punt return of all time. I don't know about all time, but it was the luckiest punt return at the last possible second. Best bet. God, it's weird because I was right about the Jets not showing up. I was not right about the Pats actually having an average game. God, this was just a competition of who could be the worst quarterback.
I don't think Mac Jones was bad per se. The Jets D was good, and just some timely sort of a couple missed field goals, timely sort of errors, bad sacks that were taken. Like New England just couldn't seem to get a finishing touch. They would go, they get in field goal range, they'd miss. They go, they get close to field goal range, sack. Like they just couldn't seem to make the final play. Like Mac Jones, if you've been listening to Let's Talk Jets, our buddies who are,
I get some great guys that are Jets fans.
But they were talking about how Mac Jones went like 23 for 27 for 250. That was like their big stat.
He had a great. I mean, no touchdowns. That's a Jimmy G performance, which is what stereotypical Bill Belichick. Rely on the defense, make your quarterback not fuck up.
God, Zach Wilson was brutal. Zach Wilson is not
9
NFL.
for 22, 77 yards. Did you let your defense down? No.
Bro, this guy is like, I told you draft day, I thought he might be a bust. He's a bust.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, no, I think his career is, if he gets benched for Mike White, his career's done.
Well, I don't know how you go back to him the way he's been playing. Like, he's been so bad.
Forget how he's been playing. Look at Davis Mills. He's had really, really, really bad games. You look at how Davis Mills conducts himself, and I think there's a reason he's a second-year quarterback. Despite Houston's bullshit, despite their dysfunction in their organization, they could at least admit Davis Mills, he's going to be our guy. We want him there.
Till next year.
Robert Saleh Robert Saleh literally was like, no, I'm not committing to him. Not after last week. And I don't fucking blame him. And considering, too, Garrett Wilson's like, this is unacceptable. We need to be better. Robert Saleh was just like, come on, what are you doing, Zach? And Zach Wilson can't even have accountability.
Yeah.
To just, literally, here's the softball. Did you disappoint your defense? Yeah, you know what? There were some throws I could have made. I could have made some different calls, get the guys open a little bit more. I just have to perform better. That's all he had to say. I could do that in my sleep. No, I didn't let anybody down. Go back to the locker room. Like, I wish I was in that locker room when he said that. And supposedly, from what I'm hearing, after the game, that was his demeanor, that it wasn't his fault that they lost.
Well, that's, I'm not saying you need to go and fall on your sword per se. Like, here's another you don't want to say that you let him down. Perfectly different answer. Well, I wouldn't say we let him down, but clearly as an offense, we have to be better. Like, that, come on. You scored 3
points. Or even better. Did I let the defense down? I hope not, because I actually gave it all that I could out there. Were there some things that could have been better? Absolutely. But I don't go into this game every week trying to let the defense down. But you could have done that.
It's really not hard. It's really not rocket science.
That was a softball. No.
With Justin Fields running around, Zach Wilson's the worst quarterback in football. Not even close.
Yeah. I don't know who's worse. Davis Mills isn't even this bad.
No, I would literally choose any quarterback in the league over him.
I honestly would rather have Russ. As bad as he's been, I would rather have Russ. Because at least he knows when to take a sack, not to throw the pick. Oh wait, he threw another one, but that's okay. You know what? Like Russell Wilson, he's had times not this season, but he's proven himself before in the past where he can do that. He can do the things. It's just can he do it here? Zach Wilson, if you can't especially this Jets team, if you can't do the minimum, you are a bust. And you are a failure.
And it's only going to get harder for them. Like, they're going to probably have a tougher schedule next year than this year.
They are playing the division for 3 games in a row. I want to say. I'm going to double check that. But
no, they play Chicago,
schedule,
and then they do have to play Buffalo and Miami again. And I don't like their chances in either of those games.
Nope. Not at all. Especially Buffalo, they're going to be pissed.
In Buffalo, especially if their secondary is healthier.
In December, this is going to be... That's going to be a future nugget to keep an eye on for goddamn sure.
Yeah, except the line will be fucking 17 and a half, but...
Yeah, real quick, this was a game I was not strong about, but maybe I should have been. Washington at Houston, it was 3.5 points. Washington was coming off their biggest win, and they got Houston right after.
Well, correction. I had it at 3. I got it at 3. And
you got it at 3. By the time I got to it, it was 3.5. And I was just like...
That was cold.
God, this scares me. Yeah, just ball in the hoop, no sweat. Taylor Heineke's getting another pair of J's in the Texans colors. It's just...
That shit was easy.
God, Taylor Heineke, I'm a big fan of... I've always been a big fan of his, even since the XFL. This kid, I swear, like, I don't know what it is with him and Ron Rivera's system. It is working. And the fact he's earned the job now is like...
Well, I think...
How do you not?
I think it's weird because Heineke coming in cut down on the turnovers, and he's made enough throws to win, and their defense and running game has been better. So it's been a confluence of... But, yeah, Washington, I mean, don't look now.
Look at how they played with... Look at how they played with Carson Wentz. And with Heineke, it's a whole different team. I swear, they, like, actually move the ball. Their defense, even now that Chase Young is back, their defense has stepped up in big ways, too, making big plays.
Yeah.
God, this is... Heineke is 5-0-1 ATS this year. That kid is just winning people money everywhere. It's unbelievable to see, but I'm happy for him, considering the Washington Communists are, the dysfunctional bullshit organization. Everyone's praying that Dan Snyder sells the team soon, but the last thing, not that the last thing I want to see is their success, because it would give Dan Snyder a reason to stay, but like, God, if Washington does one thing right, I think they just need to stick to Heineke and build around him, because they've had him long enough that they've made enough mistakes trying to switch him out. Like,
unless you could draft a quarterback, but you're probably not going to. And I mean, they're alive in the NFC. I mean, there's not a whole lot of really teams in the NFC, to tell you the truth. So they're alive. I mean, you think about it.
They could be a wild card.
They could be a wild card team. Yeah.
I mean, the NFC East is such a tight division right now. Like, it's a weird situation where unless a team completely tanks, all 4 teams could go to the playoffs.
Well, I think there's a team.
There's a shot.
I think there's a team in that division that's in danger of tanking.
Yeah, let's get to it. Well, actually, let's get to this bullshit game first.
All right.
Rams at New Orleans. This was one of the few underdogs I had and God, Stafford, another concussion. We knew it was over the minute it happened. It wasn't even...
That hurt. Because
just such a bad beat.
Because the bet was not even looking that bad. Well, they were hanging tough, and then Stafford goes out, and it's just... done.
Yeah. Allen Robinson, I mean, it was nice seeing him, but, like, the offense is just that much worse without Cooper Kupp. And, God, do I put the Rams on auto fade?
Bro, their defense can't stop anything. I mean, they just got skewered.
Jalen Ramsey should go back on God. What was that show he did on Thursday night with LeBron? Yeah, he needs to go back to that because he at least performed better there than he did on the fucking field.
Yeah, this team is.
The shop.
You want to talk about toast? The Rams are just completely toast right now. Oh yeah, they play Kansas City next week. Good luck with fucking that.
Is that a 4:00 game?
Let's see. I think so. Hold on. Yeah, it's 4:00 in Kansas City. They play in Kansas City.
Oh man, I don't know if there's a spread high enough.
Bro, the line's 14.5. It might end at 20. Especially if Stafford doesn't play again. I mean, if Stafford doesn't play, that's 20. That's name your spread.
I might bet it's at 17.5.
Bro, that's name your spread.
And get plus money. I might as well. I mean, my concern with the Chiefs and Rams game is the Chiefs are coming off a big Sunday night win. Do they, like, because it's such a step-down team, is this, like, where...
Well, they've won a couple close games. This could be a get-right. I mean, I have no faith in this Rams. I don't know if I'd actually...
I don't either.
I need to handicap it, but yeah.
Yeah, it's an early handicap. We're not really officially doing anything. But, like, looking early, it's like, what on God's green earth would make you take the Rams? They waived Darrell Henderson today. So they're going with Cam Akers, but I don't even know, or that rookie kid. I know they're going with him too, but I just don't.
Bro, Stafford's concussed again. He's back in concussion protocol. If he doesn't play, the line might be 21.5 come game time.
Yeah, this might be Wednesday morning first thing. If it's at like 10, if it's at 13.5, I may jump it to 17.
Bro, this is Kendall Hinton game, like all over again. I mean,
oh my God, the Kendall Hinton game. You had to remind me
bro,
of that.
Bro, the Chiefs may win by like 70. I mean, this could be 56-3. Like
it could be bad.
It could be that.
God, I'm writing this down, man. Like this. God, Chiefs, just take it plus over the line.
Minus 50.
It's sad because you know there's somebody that will do that. Somebody will bet the Chiefs minus 30 and lose because it's a 29-point difference.
I mean, I know it sounds Barney, but like this Rams team, like they have no defense. They have no offense now. They may not have a quarterback. Cooper Kupp's out. Like they're fucked. They're fucked.
I mean, if Juju Smith-Schuster comes back, is he gonna have a game? Like, that's wild. But yeah, no. Here's the team I think is. We'll get to the next game because I think we dragged on about the Rams enough.
Yeah.
The Giants. Okay, are the Lions good now? Like they've won 3 in a row.
Well, they're gonna have. We're gonna see Thanksgiving. We're gonna see how good they are. We're gonna see how good.
Lightning struck again. Jared Goff beat the Giants in New Jersey.
Detroit never wins on the fucking road either. That's a crazy thing.
And they've done 2 in a row.
Fuck.
Now they gotta come home.
They're making me liars. I literally gave you the stat. Detroit on the road, never bet them. And then the last 2 weeks, they fucking just went on the road.
Yeah, I even threw this stat out, though, and this is what I'm kicking myself in the nuts for. Daniel Jones against the NFC North, he was 0-5. This year, he was 2-0. But, like, you look at who he beat. Chicago and the Packers, who this year I think we've officially declared they're a bad team. They're not. Like,
I think the Giants are in danger of cratering. They play 4 division games, their next 4. They play Dallas Thanksgiving, Washington twice, and the Eagles. That could be their season. They could lose all 4 of those and be done.
Yeah, I have them splitting with Washington. I'm going to say the same thing about the Giants that I'm going to say about Washington. And I mentioned this with Houston, and it was how realistic can you keep this momentum? How long can you maintain this style of gameplay and continue to win games? Because say what you will about Washington, I know Heineke right now, he's pretty damn good. but it is a lot of close-ish games. It's not like they're insane blowouts. It's competitive back and forth style. The Giants, they kind of been getting away with this for a while now. They had a couple good wins against bad teams. Now the way I'm hearing it is they're about to get some real competition. They're about to get some division
Yeah.
competition, which Daniel Jones historically has not done well against to begin with. And I would make this proposal. Well, it's not a line anymore, but I'll have to look at the futures real quick. There was a Giants over-under bet, and the number to me screamed it was really high.
I was just
So I
thinking
wanted
the
to-
same bro, because they have the 4 division games and then they play at Indianapolis. That might not be a walkover anymore.
Here we go. Division winner, regular season wins.
9.5 now.
And they're 7-3?
Are they? Ooh, 2 more wins isn't that much.
No, 3 wins. If it's 9.5.
Oh yeah. Oh, they need 3 wins. Let's see.
Bro, they may not get that.
Bro, they play at Minnesota. They got to play the Eagles twice still. Oh my God, that is juicy.
The Colts is the only one I think they win. There's a realistic chance.
Bro, they
could
might
hit.
lose to the Colts too. I would not be.
The under is -110. That would be the line I would hit now.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Because you have to think, if they lose to Dallas on Thanksgiving, that number's going down.
Boy, oh boy, yeah, that might be a fucking. Oh my God, bro, we're gonna bet so much, but it's really like it's there for that. I did this last year with Cleveland. This might be the mid-season futures bet. Giants under 9.5. I mean, bro, I think this week. Here's my live betting for this game. If Dallas goes under a touchdown at any point, I'm hitting Dallas. Because I think Dallas is going to cruise in this game. I'd be tempted to play Dallas 9.5, although sometimes backdoor cover, but anything less than a touchdown. I mean, I see Dallas doing well this game. Bro, Dallas won by 7 with Cooper Rush in New York. Dak is back.
Well, yeah, and now they're home with Dak. This is on Thanksgiving too, which I know for Dallas was a pain point the last couple times. But God, you're getting Daniel Jones and the Giants.
Yeah.
We're getting ahead on the handicaps a little bit, but you know what? I did, and not to get too off there, but I wanted to bring that over-unders up with you. It was 9.5. They still have their division.
Bro, they play the Eagles twice. And the Eagles might be playing for number 1 against Minnesota, so it might not be.
Yeah.
That would be the only fear I would have, tell you the truth. Last game of the year, are the Eagles going to rest starters?
Yeah, that could be. But you have to think, 3 wins from this point out, are they getting 3? You have to think, if you get Philly one, you get the Colts another, they would have to split with Washington. But you have to bank on them winning. At that point, it would be 3 games in a row.
Yeah, what do they have left? 7 games. They need to go 3-4 to beat you.
I mean, they're not going to beat Dallas, so that's my early handicap. I don't think they're beating Dallas. You then have to go against Washington twice, so say you split that. You have to beat Philly. You have to beat Washington again.
Oh, I forgot, though. Remember, the Giants are good against Philly. Jalen Hurts sucks against. That's actually, oh my God, we're getting so far ahead. That's already December 11th in New York. That's already Giants plus points. I'm already looking at that game as my dog of the week, December.
All right. Let's go.
Yeah, let's get on to
Let's go to the next game. Oddly enough, I had another split this week. This was the split. I picked Atlanta -3 against Chicago, and sure as shit, it was 27-24. I said this was the Chewbacca game of the week. I thought I saw it in another game. I said this was the other one. This would have been the cliff jumper bet, and it would have pushed because it was like Atlanta -3 against a Bears team who hasn't won 6 of their last 7. Now 7 of their last 8, something crazy like that.
Yeah.
Like, sorry, no, they've now lost 6 of their last 7. It was 5 of their last 6, but something. God, like, are we over the Justin Fields hype yet? Like,
well, he got hurt in the
that
game
died.
too. Supposedly, he dislocated his shoulder.
Oh God, you know what? Like, Big Dick Nick Foles, is he gonna be returning? No, he's not. No, he's on the Jag. Where the fuck is? Who is their backup?
Oh my God.
Who's the backup for the Bears? That's
Andy Dalton. No. Trevor Siemian. Jesus Christ.
Well. So oddly enough, like Atlanta, they don't get another. They don't get an ATS win yet again. They get a push. So
they might get credit because they were 2.5 late. So they got Bears got a lot of late money. They were a big sharp pick this week. Everybody loved the Bears, and they.
Yeah, except for us, we were both like, wait a minute, this team loses.
Yeah.
How are they going to cover 3? Like
they don't. Yeah.
And I was like, why are they getting 80% of the money? Like, Chicago, for a team that doesn't win, should not be getting that much love.
Yeah.
Against a team who previously was really good ATS.
Yeah. I just think somebody had a stat where literally it's like the last 2 weeks, Justin Fields game-losing interceptions. Like, the guy's not winning. So be careful playing the Bears because they're not winning. They don't win.
Yeah, no, and I don't know if I go back to Atlanta again. Like, I've done this like 2 weeks in a row. I went back to Atlanta. It just doesn't.
Not in Washington.
pan out.
I'd be careful in Washington.
No, I can't. The next game on the list was Vegas and Denver. We already went over that. The last thing I'll say though was I will repeat this every week again until it breaks, but over under bet of the week, pick Broncos games under because they can't fucking score. Their defense can only hold them for so long too apparently, but if the number seems right. By the way, the Broncos and Panthers game is tied for the lowest over under point totals in betting history.
Holy shit.
35
what
is the line.
Fuck? Oh my God.
It is tied for the lowest, which is going to be something I have to really look into next week. But
yeah.
Yeah, this was. So again, that was one of my plays was Broncos over under. That was the minute that went to overtime, ball in the hoop. I was actually, part of me was kind of saying, you know what, if the Raiders get the touchdown, that game could be over, the over-under will hit. It went to overtime, the over-under hit, but I was more curious about the game to begin with. But I will say that that's just a line I'm going to keep hammering until it's wrong. Because why wouldn't I?
Yeah.
It's not like Detroit, who's like one of the over teams, and they just go back and forth on whether they want to score that game or not. Like Denver just consistently, top defense holds offenses down, literally holds them to 16 or less. Denver's offense just fails to show up and get 10 after the first half. You know, it's so crazy to see, but it happens week in and week out. So that's just, you know, again, it might be one of my best bets from here on out, just because it keeps happening. And if you're not hopping on it at this point, you're probably a little late. But how many weeks have I done this, and it's just been ball in the hoop money?
35.5 is pretty low, though, buddy. I don't know.
It's stupid low. And it's going to concern me for next week. But, yeah, let's get to one of my other best bets. Dallas and Minnesota. That was my fade of the week. I literally could not understand the love that Minnesota was getting. And the fact that they were a home dog, too, it was like, how many Barneys bet Minnesota because they were the better record team and they were at home? Just on that alone.
How many times do we need to say Kirk Cousins outside of 1 o'clock? Like, the guy just does not play well outside of one.
Yeah, I don't know what it is. It's never made sense, but you're 100% right. Like, not just that too, but it was like this was the other Chewbacca game I had where
Yeah.
I was like, wait a minute, why is Dallas favored? They're on the road. They just lost. Minnesota just beat Buffalo. Like, I was like, wait a minute, Minnesota's a dog? Like, either I'm missing something or this isn't right. And no, it was right. Like, Dallas should have been favored. And I was like, then you need to bet Dallas. Yeah, and Kirk Cousins, he still sucks against Dallas. He was a total no-show. He literally had a performance just like Zach Wilson. And meanwhile, Dallas literally went up 40-3, and they cut the game off CBS or Fox like by the third quarter.
Bro, that shit was brutal, man. I mean, the Vikings got slept, and yeah, I mean, they won their Super Bowl 2 weeks ago. I guess it's not all that surprising, but curious to see how they bounce back.
Sorry, not a late primetime Thanksgiving game, 8:15 against New England and Bill Belichick.
How's Kirk Cousins in
That's
prime
gonna.
time again?
Well, considering I lost money on him the last time I tried this, not good, not good. Kirk Cousins, he's now 0-7 at home against Dallas.
Jesus.
0-7. I again, I don't want to say this bet was too easy. I had my reservations about it a little bit, but like, God, I have not had a game where it was a no sweat in so long. That this was just like, considering I had to go through the Denver game too. Like, my emotions were so back and forth that like literally by the third quarter I was like, oh well, that's money.
Yeah, Washington and Dallas were like the no sweat bets of the.
God, those were our best bets too, because we were both all over Washington, and we were just. But my reservation was like a 3.5. Their biggest. Nope, Houston sucks. That should have been it. Houston sucks. They're not good.
I know Houston's like my go-to. Like, Houston's made me a lot of money this year, a lot of money.
By fading the fuck out of them, and I will say Dallas now coming home to Thanksgiving after beating Minnesota. Are the roles going to... I mean, we'll get into this real quick, but do you think the roles reverse for Dallas? Because now they're on the other end of the shoe here, you know what I mean?
I would think that, but it's Thanksgiving against the Giants team they tend to beat. And I don't like the fact Daniel Jones had all those turnovers, bro. I mean, is this
Not at all.
is this gonna be vintage Daniel Jones turning the ball over? And they corralled Saquon pretty well in the first game. Only had 14 rushes for 81 yards, which isn't crazy for him. And if they do something like that again, I mean, you know, I don't like that pass rush against Daniel Jones. I mean, you remember the first game, Daniel Jones was literally looking up from his backside. And they won by 7 with Cooper Rush on the road. You know.
Yep, and now we're getting them 10 points at home with Dak. OBJ is going to be there. It's going to be fun to see at 4 o'clock by the time I stuff my face with food, because it's going to be shut the hell up when we watch the game. Don't talk to me. Like,
yeah, for real.
Last game, this was my dog of the week. I had Pittsburgh at home against Cincy. It's like I try to do it the first time. I don't jump on it. I miss an opportunity. I try to make up for it. Every time I do this, I try to make up for it the next week I can, and it bites me in the ass. And Pittsburgh played a tough game at home against the Cincy team. Cincy was just a little bit better this time around, and by a little bit, I mean they won 27-20. We talked about Zach Wilson being a bust. We talked about Justin Fields not being as good. I'm still on the train that Kenny Pickett is not the guy for Pittsburgh. Albeit he has been playing better as of late, and maybe this is a system issue, but at the end of the day, you have to win games. And if you don't win games, you shouldn't be the guy. And I'm just wondering how much longer does Kenny Pickett have to turn the ship around?
Well, it's weird because year one is kind of it doesn't. I hate to say it, but like year one almost doesn't really matter if you're really good or really bad. It's kind of a throwaway. My thing is year two, year three. The NFL has tape on you. What are you gonna do? And so, this year it's kind of a learning experience for him. He's going to take his lumps. Pittsburgh play kind of tough. I'm just curious to see, like, next year, how's he going to look?
Sorry, I said 27-20. It was 37-30. And Kenny Pickett, too. Like, he only had one passing touchdown, 25 for 42, 265. No interceptions, which was nice to see. But, again, like, I guess the argument I will say is that he is a first-round drafted quarterback. He was brought in, weirdly enough, as a backup to, God, what the hell was his name?
Mitch Trubisky.
Thank you, Mitch Trubisky. Ends up getting the job super early. And he's still, like, what are they, 3-7 now? Like, their season is essentially done.
Yeah, their season's over.
Because of this game. And that game kind of showed me that in the moment when it matters most, when you are going to be relied upon, he really didn't seem that much different than the rest of the game. And there's just guys you can tell. Patrick Mahomes.
Tom Brady.
Going back, Peyton Manning, Andrew Luck, Tom Brady, Aaron Rodgers back in the day. With the games on the line, who do you want having it? Who do you want to get you over the hump? And I don't see it in this kid. I just don't see him being the long-term answer. I really don't. And it's just hard for me to think that, like, if you're going to lose this kind of game to Cincy, you have Baltimore coming up. You've got Cleveland that you got to beat.
With Watson, going to be a different team.
With Watson, it's going to be a thing. Like, Pittsburgh, I bet them on the over, and it literally was a history play where, like, Mike Tomlin's never had a losing record, and he did have the kid, but now I'm seeing him with the kid, and I'm thinking, wow, this could be the same record he had with Mitch Trubisky.
Yeah.
So, like, Pittsburgh is going to be, like, a very fadey team in the future. Like, they're not going to be a team that I think is going to be that good or that close.
Yeah. Although they do, they beat New Orleans, and I didn't think they were going to do that. I don't know, kind of a weird team to They beat Tampa, they beat New Orleans. It's kind of weird. Hard team to predict.
Yeah, but they beat Tampa before the divorce for Tom Brady. They beat the Saints, who had Andy Dalton at the helm, and they're pretty banged up. They don't have a starting receiving core. They're kind of all over the place to begin with themselves. And Cincy, for what it's worth, I know they don't have Jamar Chase right now, but they're still a pretty solid offensive weapon without him. And Joe Burrow, like, you look at Joe Burrow, I know he went to the Super Bowl last year, I don't want to say by default, but how many games did he have to lead a comeback for in the playoffs to keep them moving?
True.
He almost did it in the damn Super Bowl. And that goes to show you, that's the kind of quarterback you draft in the first round and take. Because that's the difference between a good first-round quarterback and then Kenny Pickett right now. I'm not saying Kenny Pickett can't be that guy down the line, but from what I've seen, I don't think he's there. I don't think he's the investment Pittsburgh was looking for.
He's reminding me a lot of Mac Jones, but on a bad team.
Yeah.
And Mac Jones on a bad team is out of football. You know what I mean?
Yeah. You know, I hate to say it, he's kind of reminding me of Daniel Jones a little bit.
Yeah, a little bit.
A little bit of Daniel Jones. Especially with the other offensive talent, too. Like, Daniel Jones came in with a decent offensive starting or offensive team, and Ben just kind of, like, did nothing with it. Really weird. But, Yeah, that dog of the week pick, that went down the tubes. That was the only reason I didn't severely profit this week. Other than that, my over-under, my favorite of the week, they all hit. So it was a good week overall. Um, Now with betting coming tomorrow, hopefully we can keep the streak going.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, and since we have the Thanksgiving games, and because I'm thankful to all our people that have been following us, I think we need to give the people the Thanksgiving handicaps.
Sure, sure.
I don't know if you're ready, but I think we need to.
Yeah,
I
let's
think
do
we
it.
teased enough. We teased enough of it. I think we need to get it done.
Let's do it.
Um,
Yeah.
we'll give a heads up real quick. The lines are through DraftKings right now because Maryland is acting up a little bit with FanDuel. So we cannot get the FanDuel lines because they currently are locked.
What a joke.
DraftKings has them available. We just can't bet it.
Can I just briefly, how stupid is it? We have a soft launch, is what they're calling it. A soft launch on Monday. No betting today. But there's going to be betting tomorrow. Really, guys? No other state has had a soft launch. We couldn't just keep it going? Like, was there any problems yesterday? No. Ridiculous.
So I got emails from other sports books. It wasn't FanDuel. Or no, maybe it was FanDuel. They had hacking attempts for other people's accounts.
Okay, aren't they going to be hacking attempts?
No,
there's going to be hacking on Wednesday. There's going to be hacking on Thursday.
I don't know. I don't know. I'm just saying that was what I got through the emails. They were hacking attempts, and that's why they did the soft launch. Okay. I think it's dumb as shit, too. But you know what? So long story short, these odds are now DraftKings odds. So again, now with these sports books being live, and if you are like us, you opened up multiple new accounts to get the free bets.
Steve, that might have just been.
Pay attention to the lines because one sports books might offer you better odds than another. So keep that in mind. Anyways, we'll go to the first Thanksgiving game. It's Buffalo, I guess, traveling to Detroit, even though they've already traveled. Mm-hmm. Right now, they are 10-point road, quote-unquote, dogs, or favorites. Minus 435 on the money line, plus 350 for Detroit at home. The over-under, 54 points.
Yeah, kind of fits.
It's your team. You get the honors.
Yeah, Primetime Josh he tends to show up for games like this. I think this is a big statement game for the Bills. I don't like the number. 10 is high to me. So I'm going to be looking, especially now that we're live in Maryland, I'm going to be looking for opportunities to bet the Bills at less than 10 during the game. And I'm going to be looking for, maybe some select props. Anything really Bills or Lions offense, I would like the overs. But yeah, I mean, this is the type of game where we've seen this before. Josh shows out for games like this. And I think this is kind of a statement game for the Bills. I think the past couple of weeks, they've sort of, they had those losses. They've kind of like the forgotten team now where what's wrong with Buffalo? And they've kind of been, Chiefs are good and Miami's good. I think this is their statement game where they're going to put on a pretty big show. Like, I could see them winning 41-21. I'm not sure what their defense is going to do, but they won Thanksgiving last year. They won Thanksgiving the year before. Remember that Saints game? They won pretty convincingly on Thanksgiving in New Orleans.
It wasn't even close. It was an embarrassment.
I would be looking for the Bills in this game because this is statement sort of win for them, and I think they're going to make a statement. Absolutely.
Sure. If you had to play since we're only doing 3 games, if you had to play the over/under, where do you lay at 54?
It's high, but I think over. And I think you want to bet it now because I think it's going to keep going. I just don't. This Bills secondary has not been good, and we know the Lions defense could give up points in chunks.
Yeah, here's what I got. Josh Allen, 2-0 on Thanksgiving. He's 3-0 on Thursdays. Detroit hasn't won on Thanksgiving since 2016.
Yeah.
JA17, he's 14-5 against the NFC. I know they lost to Minnesota. Bullshit game, not bullshit game, but tough game, overtime. Detroit with Jared Goff is 0-5-1 against the AFC. Detroit, I guess, technically has home field advantage, but I think what most people are going to miss is that because Bills were in Detroit for the last game, Bills Mafia essentially flooded Ford Field. I wonder, out of curiosity, how many of them are going to stick around.
Yeah, that's a good point.
You know, the cover does concern me a little bit because it is double digits. It's 10 points.
Yeah.
They did win by 8 last week to Cleveland.
And we know
which
the
I said
Lions
that
cover at home. We know the Lions cover at home.
Well, they did. They're 2-3 straight up. They're 3-2 ATS. This, to me, just outside perspective looking in, if you like the Bills, then you should like them to win by a blowout. Because you're 100% right. When it comes to a primetime big game, Josh Allen loves to sling the ball, especially now that he's been doubted. Now they're saying that this is 2018 Josh. This is the kind of game he starts reminding the people, I'm still that bad. I'm still that bad motherfucker.
Yeah.
Who's going to throw 4 touchdowns on you? And then in the fourth quarter, I'm going to throw another 2 because I can.
Yeah.
And run one in because why not?
I'd be looking
This, to me,
Oh, go ahead.
is a... I don't want to say this is a live odd. This, to me, is like... I love the Bills here to win. And because I like the Bills to win, I feel like you should love them at 10. Even though I really don't, because out of the 7 games they've won this year, 4 of them were double digits. And Green Bay was one with 10 where they didn't cover. The other 2 was Tennessee and the Rams. And Tennessee early on looked really rough. Now I wonder if they get Tennessee again, is this going to be a double-digit win? Or is this going to be a lot closer of a game? And again, we mentioned this earlier, but Bill's secondary is banged up. Kyrie Elam might come back. This is just like a huge Lions letdown spot to me. They've won 3 in a row. 2 of them were on the road. They now have to come home after going to New York. It's Thanksgiving where they, again, since 2016, have lost every game. Now, weirdly enough, if you remember last year, we had a very similar handicap with Detroit. Detroit sucks. They don't win. They don't cover. And it was Chicago. And the line was literally 2.5. And me and you both really loved the Bears, minus 2.5, and it was our court bet. And our first fucking game we lost, it was 16-14. So my concern here is this the type of game where it's double digits until there's a backdoor cover?
Here's what I would say the thing with this one is, the closest analog I have to this was the Pittsburgh game. Like, this is the last time the Bills played a passing defense that was this bad, and they shredded them. And the question is, do you believe that the Lions' defense is better than they were? Because the defense has played better the last 3 weeks. And if not, they're a 30th ranked.
They still gave up 30 points to Chicago.
Yeah, that's true.
They still gave, and because they shut down Saquon, if you look at the Giants' offense, we're going to get to them in the next game, but if you look at the Giants' offense and you shut down Saquon, what have I been saying? If you make Daniel Jones throw, you're probably going to win. If you're good enough. And I think the Giants just making Daniel Jones throw as much as he had to that game was the reason that the Lions won. Because the Lions, Jared Goff, too, is very inconsistent. But if Jared Goff shows up and gets, like, an average line of, like, 250 yards, 1 tutty, but you let Jamal Williams run it in most of the time, you should be fine. And I think that the Lions admittedly did find their rhythm. They found their formula. Are they just going to be able to do it against the Bills? Yeah. And I don't think they are. Because if you make Josh Allen throw, you're destined to get caught.
Well, I mean, the problem...
It's not like...
Yeah, like you have the 29th ranked pass defense. Oh, and by the way, 32nd scoring defense in the league against the second scoring offense.
Yeah. My concern here, and this is why I would play the under, but you're right, I would wait until the last second, maybe even live odds. This to me just seems like you're banking on Jared Goff to perform at home, which the last couple times he really hasn't. So this to me, again, I just see upset city. This line could go up to 57. I'd hit the under just early, maybe live odd and hedge it later. But yeah, I mean, this could be a 38 to 20 game and it hits over, but I'm banking on Detroit scoring, and I just
Bro,
think
if you're an
this is a
underplay,
get right game.
if you're an underplayer, you better hope Josh comes out flat because, bro, the Bills might score 50 in this game.
Well, no, I think Detroit's going to come out flat. I don't think it's the Bills that I have to worry about. I think it's Detroit coming out flat, especially after a big win against the Giants on the road.
That's true. Yeah, dangerous, man. Dangerous.
Like I see them giving up 38. Do I see them scoring 20? Especially if the Bills defense is getting a step down like a motherfucker. Like that's my concern. But no, I could see the line why it's so high, but you're just banking on the Lions to show up again, and they're just so inconsistent.
It's so weird because the Bills are like in Detroit, and they're ready. Like Detroit has actually done more traveling because they've had to go home, and the Bills are just waiting.
Right. Meanwhile, the Bills have just been chilling in Detroit.
Yeah, I really like the Bills. I like the Bills in this game.
God, I do too. And bias aside, like the Bills, this is just looking like.
Oh, by the way, I told you before a couple props to look at. I don't know if I'll play these live or not. I haven't decided what I want to do. Amon-Ra St. Brown over. I'm looking at that. Another over I'm looking at, Gabe Davis. The Lions give up big passing plays, and he's their chunk-like receiver. Excuse me. Gabe Davis, look out for him this week.
Over yards or receptions?
I'd probably play over yards because he might have a 75-yard touchdown in this game. Like, it's possible.
Yeah.
It's possible.
Yeah, you're 100% right, dude. Okay, let's get to the 4 o'clock game. Dallas, coming home from Minnesota after the mollywhopping they gave Kirk Cousins. They get to host the Giants, coming off losing 2 of their last 3. I'm dubbing this the OBJ game. OBJ is supposed to be in attendance. Supposedly, he will sign with one of these teams after this game. I don't even think this is a real debate. It's just, where do you lay the 9.5 with? I would rather lay it with Dallas, but I'm not as confident as I am with the Bills, and here's why. Admittedly, Dallas, they're 9-1 straight up, 8-2 ATS in their last 10 against the Giants. Danny Dimes, he's only 1-5 against the Cowboys. That one win, though, was against Andy Dalton when Dak Prescott went out with that season-ending injury. The Giants, they're 2-5 against division opponents on the road with Daniel Jones. Albeit this season he was good. He's 3-1 straight up in ATS. You look at who they played, though, and it was Tennessee week 1. They should have lost that game. Green Bay, Jacksonville, and then you lost to Seattle. You then follow it up by barely winning against the Texans. You lose at home to Detroit. Now, how many times have we seen this with Dallas, though? It's Thanksgiving, big game, big cover, and they just fucking lay an egg. Like, we've seen this before, but this is the Giants. This is Brian Daboll being exposed as the guy that you hated when he was on the Bills. 9.5, it is a lot, but I think this is a line where if you like Dallas, you might as well lay the points. Because if you at any point like the Giants, then you like them enough to win. But I don't even like the Giants to win here. I don't like the spot.
Yeah, I don't know how you can, bro.
And that's my thing. Like, if you even like the Giants, you might as well bet them as a dog. I wouldn't even bother with points. But, which sounds crazy, but, like, that's the, like, if you think about it, if there's a party that just likes the Giants to do this year, the value isn't really going to be the 9.5 because Dallas could win by 20. Realistically, you look at this game, Dallas could win by 20. Same thing with Buffalo and Detroit. Buffalo could win by 30. Dallas could literally have their way with this Giants team. They've done it before. They'll do it. They'll probably do it again. Daniel Jones has not beaten this team with Dak Prescott at the helm or covered. So why would this be the spot? Is it because Dallas is coming off a big win? Is it because the Giants are coming off 2 of 3 losses? They need a win now. I think this is the game where it's the beginning of the end of the road. I think their slump continues. They may end up last place in the division, which I hope not. I hope they end up getting third, but argument for another day. I'm laying the 9.5 with Dallas, and this would be an over 45.5. I think Saquon will not have a quiet game this time around. I think they will need to lean on the run more. I think some garbage points could be a thing. 45.5 seems low.
That's really the fear in this game to play Dallas is there's one thing that beats you. It's Saquon Barkley having a big game, controlling the clock, and keeping the score low. I have no faith in this Giants offensive line that's given up like 3 sacks a game against like the best D-line in football to really be able to protect Daniel Jones enough to do anything. So, again, I saw this game in New York. It was a 7-point victory with Cooper Rush. Numbers-wise, adding an extra 2.5 to that, considering the fact that you have Dak Prescott now, doesn't really seem, seems a little bit crazy. But yeah, like I said, this is one of those where live betting, I'm looking anytime Dallas goes under a touchdown, that's what I want to hit. That's what I'm trying to
You want to know what my prop is for this game? And this is a DraftKings prop. Micah Parsons over 3/4 of a sack. I think he gets 1 on his own.
He didn't have one against this team last time.
He's actually been really quiet as of lately. I think he only has tackles. I don't think he's had a sack in a couple games. But, bro, I mean, Thanksgiving at home against your division opponent, I think he shows up. I mean, last time he played the Giants, he had, oh, God, what was this? No sacks, 1 tackle. Ugh. That is ugly.
In a game where they had, like, 8 sacks, strangely enough.
Yeah. Actually, he's had no sacks against the division this year. The under is a minus 120, so that kind of goes to show you. They actually favor him not getting it.
Oh, that is weird. That's interesting. I don't see any rushing props up yet. I was curious to see what Saquon's rush totals were.
Over under 74.5.
Is that really what it is?
Yep.
Ooh. Be tempted to take the over there.
Ezekiel Elliott is only 45.
Well, remember Pollard's getting a lot of run.
Yeah, he's a 67. Yeah, I guess my play here is, like, you know what? Like, I'd have to see the sacks for the Giants and what they've given up. But if they've given up a lot of sacks lately, this could be a Micah Parsons get-right game.
It definitely could be.
Yeah, Giants allowed 2 sacks last game against the Lions. And then against the Texans, they allowed 3. Yeah, so the Giants lately have been giving up sacks. So, I mean,
Yeah.
maybe not my favorite play, but one I would actually like if you're looking for a prop to maybe
Yeah.
get an edge on.
And
Von Miller over under. Here's another one. Von Miller over under a quarter, literally a quarter of a sack. If you don't think he gets anything at all, it'll be plus 110.
I don't know if he's gonna show out.
Yeah, that's going to be hard to say, but
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, so I mean, I guess I don't know how you rate the Giants. That's my handicap. I mean, are you laying the points with Giants, or would you take it with Dallas?
No, I think Dallas is gonna win big. Like I said, it was 7 points with Cooper Rush. And this Giants team, I think they're starting to come back down to earth. They lost to Seattle. They didn't look all that great against Houston. They really got smoked last week against, Detroit doesn't have a good defense. How are they going to keep Daniel Jones upright? I mean, they lost Wan'Dale Robinson. He's out for the year. Like, who's their receivers? I mean, they're just running out of bodies. I mean, they're just like
Kenny Galladay, I guess, if he shows up.
Really? Like, bro, they're just like running out of. Isaiah Hodgins, ex-Buffalo Bill, is playing for them. I mean, Darius Slayton's their number one. I mean, you just after a while, you run out of bodies, and I think Thanksgiving, Jerry World against a division opponent with this defense, it's going to be different. You're not playing the Buffaloes of the world. You're not playing the Chargers. You're not playing decent teams. You're playing a team that, let's be honest, should get steamrolled. I really think the Giants are going to come back down to earth. We talked about it with the 9.5 number. I think the Giants are due to come back down to earth in a big way.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. I think the Giants, unfortunately for Dayball, I think he's had his time as a great head coach, but I think now the real test is going to come out where is this guy going to be a real head coach in the NFL, or is he just going to be another
Well, it's
guy?
hard. I mean, you don't have the bodies, bro. You don't have the bodies. You don't have players.
But this is where coaching comes into play. This is what it comes down to. I hate to say it because coaching is literally like I swear, fuck the quarterback. Coaching is the most critiqued position in the NFL. Because if your team wins, other players get the credit. If your team loses, it comes down to the head coach. They're the first ones fired, not the quarterback. So for me, for Dayball, this is where it's going to come out whether he's the real deal or not. The next few weeks too. This is going to be the start of it. Well, speaking of teams coming down to earth, let's get to the big 8:00 game here. New England traveling to Minnesota. Minnesota coming off that bad Cowboys loss. New England, they're 3-point road dogs.
I have it at 2.5 now.
Yep. It just went down to 2.5. Oh man, that's even better. Over/under is 42.5, and the spread for New England's not spread. The line's at 120 for New England, and it's minus 140 for the Vikings at home. Okay. 8:00, Kirk Cousins.
Primetime Kirk Cousins. Are you brave enough to do it?
Not this time.
I'm seeing that they covered their last 5 against AFC opponents. The Vikings.
Yeah.
Kirk Cousins.
Mac Jones is 3-0 on the road against the NFC ATS.
Kirk Cousins 8:00.
How about this one? Minnesota is 0-5 against New England since 2002. Now, that was from 2002 to 2018, but they're 0-5 against Belichick.
Yep. Vikings have won each of their last 10 games as favorites. Didn't know that either. But then I remembered something. 8:00.
Primetime Kirk Cousins.
Primetime Kirk.
Yeah.
Bro, remember what happened the last time you bet on primetime Kirk Cousins against Philly? How'd that work out?
That was arguably the Donko pick of the year.
Bro, I told you when you made it was going to be your Donko pick of the year.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean,
how many Thanksgiving games has Kirk Cousins played in?
First time they've ever hosted. I don't know if he ever has. I mean, then again, it's a quick turnaround off of that embarrassing loss last week. Maybe they're bounce back here.
Bill Belichick coming off a bullshit win against the Jets.
I mean, 4 days to prepare. Who do you favor, Belichick or? I don't know. Maybe that's a benefit. Belichick can't scheme. Then again, it's 8 o'clock. Kirk Cousins. I mean, I'm going to keep coming back.
It's 8 o'clock. Kirk Cousins. I mean,
it's hard for me to really. I mean, has the guy ever been good in prime time like ever? I don't know what it is. He's just not good.
2020. 2020 was the only year.
What was like his one game? His one good game?
Yeah, 2 games, but it was the COVID season. There were no fans.
Yeah, I'm going to look it up now. Let's see. Oh, yeah, there we go. Kirk Cousins primetime record. Here we go.
It's not good. I mean, I guess the argument here is if you're trying to bet the Vikings, do you live bet this early on? Do you wait till New England goes up and try to get the Vikings plus money? Because isn't that something you could see? New England goes up 7-0 in the first, and then Minnesota just blows it away after.
I mean, holy shit! Oh, he's 3-4 on Thursdays. That's not horrible.
Not 50%, but
he's 10-18. Prime time. I think. Yeah, 10-18.
He's 3-5 on Thursdays.
3-5 on Thursdays?
Yep, and let's go here. Thanksgiving, Dallas, L. He beat the Giants in 2017, lost to Dallas again. Oh, no, that was the Thanksgiving game. God, I need a calendar now. He's had 3 November games, 2 against Dallas, 1 against the Giants. He went 1-2. At home, he won his last 2 on Thursdays at home with Minnesota.
Who'd he beat? Chicago?
Pittsburgh last year and Washington in 2019, who he has the revenge spot for. So
I don't know, man. It's tough to. I don't know if I'm excited to bet New England here because I saw what their offense did last week and it wasn't pretty. But boy, it's tough to back Kirk Cousins in a primetime spot against the best coach of all time.
Yeah, but and you have to remember too, it wasn't like Mac Jones really did bad. He just couldn't get a touchdown. They couldn't get the run moving. I mean, Damian Harris had to split back with Ramondre Stevenson. Like, think about it this way: whose defense is better, the Jets or the Vikings?
Oh well, the Jets clearly.
Yeah. Minnesota gave up 40 to Dallas.
Yeah.
They gave up how many to Buffalo?
30 or whatever, including that BS last-second field goal to send it to overtime.
Yeah, and I mean, I forget who they played beforehand, but that's going to be my thing. It's like, looking back, the Commanders. They gave up 17 to the Commanders, which I guess you could make the same argument. It was like, well, how good is their offense, really? Still gave up 17, almost lost that game. Gave up 26 to Arizona.
Dear God.
22 to Chicago. It's been Minnesota's getting a lot of close bullshit games, but especially against bad teams. So I guess you could argue if you think New England's a bad team, I could see the angle, but me personally, I actually have no issue betting New England plus the points. At 2.5, I know the weird thing to do, not weird thing, but the thing to do is if it's 2.5, you take it with the home team when in doubt. But for me, I'd rather lay it with New England.
There's a reason I'm betting the Patriots defense. I'm playing the Patriots defense this week. Like, it's risky, but I have a feeling there are a couple Kirk Cousins turnovers coming.
Kirk Cousins
I
specials.
think
There's a
there's
reason
some
I'm playing
Apple
Dak and not
turnovers
Kirk.
for Thanksgiving.
Yeah, I'm playing the Dak Prescott, not Kirk. There's a reason.
Yeah. I have some feeling there's some Apple turnovers coming. I'm actually hoping that Kirk Cousins starts the game off well. His passing yards go to like 275, 280, so I could bet under. Because I'm already curious about betting Kirk Cousins under passing yards, and if it gets hot, if it gets like 25, 30 yards higher than it is, I might seriously be looking to make that play.
Oh man,
That'd
that
really
could
be the only play that would interest me in that game. And like I said, if it doesn't happen, I'm not going to play it. It's no big deal. It's not really a game the spread wise, I don't think I'm playing it. I don't want to dabble in that. But that would be the one sort of thing I'd be looking for. Kirk Cousins under, especially if he gets off to a
It's
decent start.
currently at 250 and a half.
Yeah, see, I'd want a little more than that. But if it gets to 275, 280, I'd be looking to play under.
Yeah, I hear you there. Is there an interception? There's an interceptions line.
Oh.
Kirk Cousins over half an interception is plus 100.
Oh, that looks like a Steve special. I think
That
there's
might
going to be a
Steve
free
special.
bet going on that.
I don't see why not. I mean, that's double money.
Yeah.
How do you not take that?
Yeah, I have a feeling there's a free bet that's going on that.
Yeah, it's gonna. Yeah. That might be my play. I mean, how do you not take that at plus 100?
Yeah. It's going to be a big betting week because remember, we got all those free plays and they all expire like by the weekend.
Yeah,
So it's going to be a lot of fucking
plays.
betting. Holy shit. Going to be a lot of money on this week of football, that's for sure.
It's called I'm Getting Really Frosty. Oh, man. But I think in honor of Thanksgiving, we should maybe take a free bet on a cork. So how would you feel, since we're kind of on the same page for the most part, New England plus 3, Dallas minus 9.5, Bills minus 10. What if we did a 3-leg teaser to plus 140? So that would be Bills minus 4, Dallas minus 3.5, Patriots plus 9.
Oh. That could be something.
I might throw. That may have to be the cork teaser.
That could be something.
That sounds like money.
That could be something.
I mean, I'll pull this up real quick. Let's. Game lines. Boom. Boom. Well, it's 2.5 now, so I guess we would get New England at 8.5. Teasers.
I'm saying plus 160.
As am I, and I love that even more. A $50 bet would pay out 130.
Jesus. Oof.
God, that looks good.
Oof.
That would be a hell of a way to come back on the court bets we've had, because they have not been good.
No, they have not been good at all.
Yeah.
Damn.
Are we locking? Are we locking this?
Yeah, may have to lock it up. What we could do if we're gonna do the corp, like I could put in 25, you could put in 25. We all have the free bets. I don't know. We'll figure out how to do it. But yeah, I think that's
Well,
I think that's the definite corp bet, and I think the Bills might go down. I actually think the Bills might go down to 9.5. I actually saw some other books with Bills at 9.5, so that might even go down.
that could be tempting. I know it's getting late, but yeah, real quick. Hopefully we don't get. Hopefully Saudi Arabia doesn't pull what they did today
Yo, that was
against
crazy.
Argentina.
There
That
was,
was it.
oh my God, there were live odds,
3
100-1.
offsides.
Yeah, live odds, 100-1.
Oh my
Saudi
God, that's
Arabia.
disgusting.
Yeah,
That's disgusting.
yeah, crazy.
Well, you know, a lot of people bet Argentina. Like that was actually like rarely. I don't really. I look into the ethers of the internet and other. There were sharp people out there saying they were parlaying Argentina with some shit, and like immediately.
Well, you're not if you're
6 a.m. Eastern time.
Well, I heard sharp and parlay, so that makes me think they're not very sharp.
Well, it was the sharp play of take a big favorite, play it with something minus 110, get it at like a plus 100 move.
Oh, ouch. Ouch.
Because Argentina was such a huge favorite.
Bro, the fact they
And,
lost
yeah.
is like shocking. Bro, did you see the goals
Well,
from
bro,
Saudi
there were
Arabia
three-
too? Those were ridiculous.
They were ridiculous, and then there were 3 offsides penalties that were like highly questionable. That like cost Argentina some scores. It was a wild game.
That was crazy. That was a wild game.
Yeah, dude. But anyways, that's gonna be it for me tonight, bud. But
Yeah.
God, tomorrow.
What a
we are
recap.
live.
What a we're fully live tomorrow. Live betting
What time does it?
Thanksgiving.
Do you know what time it goes
9
live?
a.m.
I'm off work at 10:30 tomorrow.
I was gonna say, bro, if you're off, you may. I don't know how busy I'm gonna be. I have a feeling I'm gonna be pretty busy. Just
Yeah.
feeling. But bro, you might want to do in honor of it all day of betting.
That could be dangerous.
Don't tell Caitlin; she's already kind of pissed at you.
Yeah, we won't do that. But yeah, buddy. Any last words for our lovely people?
If you haven't gotten on
DeGent
these
Nation.
free bets, and you're, obviously interested in doing it, you really need to get on it. Like all of the sites are giving promos. This is really like the one time it's going to
Free
happen.
money.
It's really the one time it's going to happen because it's legal here. So if you're in Maryland, now's the time. Like if you're going to do it anyway, obviously, take advantage of it. And what the hell? I mean,
No, get your free money. Get your free bet.
Yeah.
Even if the wager isn't coming back to you, which it isn't, bro, like go bet it and go get some free money. Even if it's a huge favor,
Yeah.
go throw and get free money.
And at worst,
Because
if
you're not gonna
if
get it
you
again.
decide that you're really not into it, well, then just don't bet again. I mean, you could, if you're really,
Yeah,
like,
there's deposit matches, and there's like a $5 deposit to get your free bets. You can get that deposit back. That's not locked.
and especially if you're new customers, like, some like deposit $5 to get like 200 back in free bets and stuff. It's just, it's a way to increase your bankroll and continue to play and not have to put your own money in. And that's the biggest win. Like you go, and now if you're smart at betting, you have 3-4 weeks to just go and bet NFL. And if you lose it, who gives a shit? Like it's not your money anyway. So
Yeah, it was free money that you got, and you get to play with it. It's house money.
yeah,
Everybody loves playing with house money.
for real.
So yeah, man. Hopefully that'll be us. But
Yeah.
God, with FIFA tomorrow, God, 9 a.m. God, that's gonna be.
Bro, wait till
odds.
March
Oh,
Madness.
man.
Like there are so many things. This is the last point. I know it's getting late. And this video is probably run ridiculously long already.
2 hours, I think we're going.
Yeah, I mean this video is like crazy. But no, the last point is just think about all of the betting events now. Like not even just the Super Bowl. That's like Barney stuff. March Madness. Opening weekend MLB, NBA playoffs, NHL playoffs, like World Cup, Olympics, like it's all there for you now. Like it's all there.
It's starting with FIFA, but don't forget NBA, NHL. That's going to be running all, like after football ends, you're getting NHL, you're getting NBA.
UFC
MLB will be around
UFC
the corner.
has some big cards coming. Like it's
Yeah, we gotta. Hopefully, we'll get back into the UFC handicapping soon.
We
Hopefully.
need football to end. It's just hard to focus on like when we focus as much as we do on football and actually handicap and all of the game. Sometimes it's just like hard. You go, you watch UFC. It's like God, I haven't even had time to like look at this card. But yeah,
Yeah, it's that's been like it the last few times, but we do have another card coming in December. Maybe we'll get around to it. Maybe we won't. But either way, bud, tomorrow's a big day.
yeah,
Holidays around the corner.
yeah,
Have a happy Thanksgiving, and to DGen Nation, happy betting.
yeah.
Go win some motherfucking
Happy
money.
Thanksgiving, D-Gents. Make that motherfucking money. Let's go. Let's
Let's
go.
go.